Talk all the time about scheme, execution, how those things are really important. Here are some times as I was watching this replay that I noticed some scheme stuff and or some execution things just weren't right. Things just don't look right. And I don't know what's going on. Play number 1 here, 2nd and 10. We're going to fake a quick pitch. Ohio State's going to kind of run a little loop stunt away from our slide protection. I don't know why we're in slide protection on this play. Usually you slide protection when you don't know where people are coming from. There's 4 guys on the line of scrimmage. The linebackers are playing really deep. I don't know why we're sliding at all. Anyhow, Ohio State's going to wind up with 3 guys on 2. So there's 2 breakdowns on this play. Let me roll that and I'll stop it. Here comes the big loop. There's 3 on 2 right there. Hayden Connor's blocking absolutely nobody. Quinn recognizes it, gets rid of the ball, and check out what he throws to. 2 guys standing in the same exact spot. Look at all that field out there past the 50. Somebody screwed up on a route. Someone didn't hear something right. I don't know who. Something was definitely not right on that play, from the blocking assignments all the way to where I'm supposed to go when the ball is snapped. 3rd and 4 here. Ohio State going to give Texas this weird look where Sawyer is way outside, like just ridiculously outside. You got an inside shade tackle over our tackle to the strong side, right over Williams right there. They're going to run like a little trap play, and this defense could not have been set up any better for this trap play to go for big yardage. But somehow it didn't happen. You get to watch Helm. He's going to influence Sawyer just a little bit, and he's going to get up to that DB. The right side of the offensive line could have just washed all of this down. But instead, they try to perform some weird combo reach block where Williams is literally actually trying to get his head across that 4 technique. And it looks like Campbell's responsible for the linebacker sitting right in front of him. I don't understand. Hayden Connor's going to pull, and he's going to needlessly like dance around Sawyer, who's so wide. He's completely out of the play at this point. They always taught us, if you don't get a crashing in, you turn upfield and go find somebody else to block. And I'm sure these guys are taught that. I hope these guys are taught that. Williams is going to be out of the position on the reach block. His man's going to be right there, right where Wisner's trying to go. Nobody's going to block number 0. And this play is going to get blown the hell up. I'll pause it when you see this weird. I want to show you guys what Williams and Campbell are doing. It's odd. Play side is to the right. So you would think, I want to get this guy in front of me washed down. I'm not trying to cut him off from getting him to the backside of the play. But watch what he does. You see that? He's combo blocking instead of just driving that guy down or just sealing him off. If he just turns his ass to the right, he's sealed off. He cannot make a play. And if Connor pulls up through that hole like he should have and gets to 0, you're going to see Helm get up to the safety or nickelback, whatever he is up there. And then you got one deep safety that Trey Wisner would have to beat. So this would be a very big play. Could be a touchdown. Watch it as it plays out. Nobody blocks 0. Williams is on the wrong side of the defensive tackle. Wisner gets freaking blown up. I have no idea what they were trying to do there. That does not even make sense what those guys did on the right side of the line of scrimmage. I don't know if that's some weird blocking scheme meant to influence people. I don't know if the play was miscommunicated. I don't know if there was a line call that got miscommunicated. I don't know. But that play was really odd to me as a former offensive lineman. Like, it didn't make sense what they're doing. This one makes absolutely no sense. This one is crazy. Okay, so we got a lot of bodies up on the line of scrimmage on 4th and 10. You got basically you got 8 in the box. You got what looks like an old school like 4-4 defense. Texas and 21 personnel. Watch what Campbell and Connor do. So watch your right guard, watch your left guard. They're both going to hop straight up like they're pass blocking almost, and then they're going to pull to the right. And I'll pause it and let y'all see that. Make sure y'all are watching Campbell and Connor. There's your jab step, and there they go. All right. Majors and Williams touch the defensive tackles in front of them, and then they move on to the second level. Elm just runs straight up the field, doesn't block anybody at the line of scrimmage. Kelvin Banks and Juan Davis run some kind of X block, switch block, whatever you want to call it. Basically, Banks blocks out, kicks out, and Davis comes underneath him. I can only assume to go hit that defensive tackle. The problem is you had 8 guys at the line of scrimmage, and one of them came on a blitz. So Davis kind of gets distracted by this blitzing safety right there when he's trying to make his block. The play side defensive tackle hardly gets touched. Wisner's got nowhere to go, gets tackled for a loss. Just a nut roll of a play. Why are we like running misdirection, trickeration run plays? We supposedly have the best offensive lineman in the country. One of the best offensive lines in the country. 4 of these guys have been playing as starters for 2 years, 3 of them for 3 years. The one that just started this year is a freaking first-round draft pick, according to all the mock drafts. What are we doing? Who thought that would work? To me, and y'all have heard me say this, we're overcomplicating stuff. We're taking like a simple thing in running the football and overcomplicating it. And that play got blown up. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I mean, maybe if you guys have, let me know. 3rd and 11 here. You're going to get a pressure look on the right side. Look at all the bodies up there on the line of scrimmage on the right side. Majors is talking. You see him. He's leaning over right now. He's talking. I think he's probably saying, hey, we're sliding to the right. This will send the back to the left, which he's offset to the right, so that's a kind of tough deal for him. Campbell just absolutely doesn't slide to the right. And what you're going to wind up with is 7 Texas players blocking 5 Ohio State defenders. And somehow, Ohio State's going to get a free rusher, and Quinn has almost 0 time to look down the field, and he has to take a sack. Watch this. Watch the slide. Watch Campbell. He doesn't do it. He's late. Little strip sack. 7 guys for Texas blocking 5 for Ohio State. And he didn't even have enough time to even attempt to look down the field. So really poor execution on the slide coverage, slide protection. The other thing I got to ask, do we not have hot routes in this offense? Like I mean, you see it all the time. In some offenses, when defenders are up on the line of scrimmage like that, you'll see the wide receivers pointing to that defender as if to say, hey, this guy's coming. I'm going to do something different. Do we have that? I don't know. I'm asking. In fairness to the route combination, if Quinn Ewers maybe has 2.5, 3 seconds to look down the field, Wingo's going to be open on the deep out for a really nice gain. 1st and 15 here. If this was RPO, and a lot of people say we run a lot of RPO. I don't know, man. I don't feel like we're really in a true RPO situation. I think we run a lot of stuff that people think is RPO that's really just play action. but I'm willing to be wrong. If this was RPO, this was absolutely the wrong read by Quinn. This is one of the few times that the Texas offensive line actually executed up front. Quinn pulls the ball, throws an incomplete pass. Watch this. I mean, Wisner's going to run for days. Instead, we pull the ball, throw it out. It gets tipped by number 7 for an incomplete pass. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Was that RPO or was that just a play action pass? I don't know. I know we don't get that look a lot offensively from the offensive linemen in the run game for sure. Here we go, first and goal at the end of the game. This play, the more I have found out about this play, the more crazy this play makes me. Originally, when I saw this, I thought, okay, number 9's Lole. Number 98's just some offensive lineman wearing stuff. Well, then I realized wearing a different number, rather. Then I realized, no, these both got to be offensive linemen because you don't see defensive linemen double knee braced up very often, if at all. So I know these are both offensive linemen. So I start to think, like, who could it be? Maybe it's Malik Ogbo, who's played a lot of big man tight end stuff. Maybe it's Neto Umeozulu, who's done the same thing down on the goal line. Maybe it's Gooseby. Maybe it's a combination of those three. So I'm like, okay, I get that. And I watched the play a few times and I'm like, oh, here's what we missed. And then it dawns on me, well, let me find out. Let me find out who that was. So I go on Horns 24/7 and I go, hey, does anybody know who that was? Number 99 is freshman Nate Kibble. Number 98 is redshirt freshman Jaden Chapman. And as far as I know, and I'm probably wrong, I'm sure earlier in the season, in some of those blowout games, I'm sure these guys might have played some. I don't recall them playing any. Let's just say they haven't played in a while, because I think that's probably true. And you put these guys in on first and goal from the 1 yard line. I love bringing the beef in. Love it. I wish he wouldn't have taken the beef out. I just think he put the wrong beef in. Why are we not bringing in Ogbo? Why are we not bringing in Umi Uzalu? Why is Trevor Gooseby not one of these guys? And I again, hear me, folks. I'm not fussing. I can't believe that's what we did. The other thing is, if you're going to go big, I think I don't think you leave the key block up to your tight end. I just really watch as they shift. They're going to shift down. Helm's going to go up to the line of scrimmage. Right now, Helm's got to put his shoulder into number 44 or 49. I think it's 44, the other really good defensive end for Ohio State. He's got to put his shoulder right into that dude's hip and get him the hell out of there. Instead, he kind of just stands up, puts his arm out to, like, put some pressure on him, right? Keep him down there inside. And then he's looking to the second level. We're on the 1 yard line. Why are we looking to the second level? All that should have happened on this play, if you want to run the ball to the left, Banks and Connor should have drove that dude right the hell out of there that's in between them. And whoever this guy is, Kibble and Helm should have drove this guy. And then you got your lead block to kick out that guy on the end of the line of scrimmage, and you can fall in the end zone. We're not trying to bust a 50-yard touchdown. We're trying to get 1 yard. But watch the effort we get out of Helm here. And again, that's not going to work on the goal line. You see Banks right there? Banks is low. His shoulder is in that guy's hip, and they're going to push that guy out of there a little bit. It's really here this defensive tackle on the right side because Hayden Connor and Majors didn't get a lot of push that kind of falls into the hole, messes up the whole thing. But Banks right there, that's why he's the number 1 draft pick. That's how you get somebody the hell out of the way on a double team. You got Chapman coming out to kick that guy out, and I think he actually, man, for a big man, I think he does a really good job to get out there and get a hat on this guy. There's just Too much piled up right now, though, because we didn't get that in man on the line of scrimmage, drove down and drove back. Gibson's going to have to kind of abandon his lead blocker, and he's just going to try to head into the mass of humanity and get what he can get. I think he probably has a better chance here if he just tries to get up the field and takes on number 8, who's going to step up here in just a second. Right there, he probably doesn't score, but he definitely has a better chance of scoring if he just tries to run over number 8 than trying to get in the middle where all those big men are. Play clearly designed. It looks like Chapman got him a really nice pancake block, so good on him. I would have loved to have seen Malik Ogbo playing that tight end for Helm, and people are going to say, "Well, then they know you're running." I don't give a shit if they know I'm running. I don't think you run combo blocks on the goal line. I just don't. And don't. I'm going to say something, and some of you are going to go, "Well, that's the same thing." No, it's not. You got to double team people. You got to push people into the end zone. The second level does not matter at all on the goal line. You don't have to block a single person off the line of scrimmage to get in the end zone from the 1 yard line. You just have to move people back. Double team, not the same as a combo block. So I love the big bodies there, and I love like being aggressive there. I just think maybe get Helm out of there, bring Malik Ogbo in, get some guys that know how to move some people out of the way. If you do that, or if Helm just gets in there and gets himself low and pushes, that's the key block right there. If you're going to run the ball outside, right, like that tight end getting that guy out of there, key block, and they missed it. Just did not happen. Second and goal from the 1. All the bigs are out. We're in 21 personnel. Can't see everybody here, but there's twins to the left. Davis goes in motion, brings the safety across with him. Now you got 6 defenders on 5 guys blocking, and this should have been full stop. Someone should have said, nope, 6 on 5. Or Twins should have sent Juan Davis back. Either way, they're outnumbered. It would have simply been 5-4 instead of 6-5. But maybe that opens up a little more space if you get everything blocked right. We're going to pitch it deep out of the shotgun from the 1 yard line. You're going to see Connor actually have a really good reach block. He's going to get his head outside that defensive tackle. Banks is going to pull. Davis is going to attempt to block down on the defensive end. Again, this is kind of the key block. Didn't get it done. You're going to see Wingo kind of in a situation, and let me roll it just a little bit so we can get this started. There's Connor getting across. There's Banks pulling. Davis is coming down, but he's not coming down very aggressively, and that defensive end's got his hands fully extended. This is fucked from the beginning. This not happening. Then you're going to see Wingo there. He's kind of trying to decide who the hell should I block. What he should have done is block that guy right in front of him, coming from inside out. And actually, it's not the guy right in front of him. It's this guy coming from the end zone inside out. He should have blocked back on him. And then Banks can get up around and get that other man. But instead, he goes up the field into the end zone trying to block. And Banks has got to catch this guy that's running full blast in pursuit from inside out. And that's just not going to happen. That's a 200-pound safety that probably runs a 4.5 40. Big Kelvin Banks is a lot of things, but he ain't going to get that guy. Not from that angle. Caleb Downs, not even accounted for. He strings this thing out horizontally until the cavalry shows up. Watch it. Banks ain't getting that block. No way. He did good enough just to get his hands on him. And they just strung it out and allowed that cornerback to come up from the end zone and make the tackle. I do not care. I saw there was tons of debate about this. And I saw a whole bunch of people posting Bill Belichick in the playoffs running a pitch on the goal line. I don't care. Bad ideas are still bad ideas, even when they work. That's called probability. Sometimes bad ideas work. Sometimes great ideas don't work. Does that make them not a great idea? No, it just didn't get executed right. This was a bad idea from the start. It became worse when nobody recognized that they were outnumbered. And it became even worse when the edge didn't get set because we're asking Juan Davis to block a really outstanding defensive end. And we're asking Ryan Wingo to choose between two guys that are out there. And he kind of just got caught in no man's land. And by the time he made a decision, it was too late. That's my thoughts on that play. Some of you will disagree, and that's fine. 4th and goal from the 8. We got 5 blocking 4. We got 5 Texas offensive linemen. We got 5 guys kind of in the box. They're showing a little pressure look there, Ohio State is. But ultimately, we've got 5 guys blocking 4. And Sawyer just absolutely destroys our offensive line on this play. Quinn doesn't have a chance. Right around him. And there she goes. That's all she wrote. Here on defense is 4th and 2. Watch this. Execution and being prepared is not just an offensive thing. You got to do it on defense as well. Look at all this confusion. They're all talking. Everybody's jumping around. No, like Mo Black's putting his freaking helmet on. That couldn't have been any easier. How did we get in that personnel package on 4th and 2 defensively? I mean, maybe those were the guys that were out there the play before, and we just didn't get a chance to change. I don't know. If it's me, I'm probably calling timeout because you know what didn't happen that whole game up until that point. Will Howard didn't run a lot of keeper type stuff, a lot of designed runs. You had to know that was coming. They should have been big. Instead, they were small. They were built for speed, and they got powered. Big play in the game. Ohio State executes that little quarterback trap perfectly. Should have been a touchdown. Thankfully, Will Howard tripped all over himself. Again, if it's me, if I am stuck in a personnel thing, I'm calling timeout, and we're going to get the right guys out there. I'm going big bodies. I'm stacking up the line of scrimmage, and if you beat me over the top, oh well. I'm not going to let that happen on 4th and 2. 1st and 10. We got 4 down linemen for Texas. Pressure look from Hill. Hill's going to bail. Simmons going to bail. We're going to fire Gilbo from the nickel 5 yards deep. Why, I don't know. Safeties are, Michael Taff is like 20 yards off the ball back there. 15 yards off the ball right now. Let's run it. Nobody is feeling this screen at all. Will Howard's backpedaling so fast he's completely out of the picture. And they just keep chasing him. He gets it dumped off. 75 yards later, it's a touchdown. The closest defender that had a chance to touch him was 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. And I'm sure they didn't execute something right. I just don't like that. I talked about it in Drunk Sean Thoughts. I don't know why. I don't know why we do this 3-man rush thing and this big deep drop safety stuff in 2-minute defense. Again, I'm sure it's worked for us. It's also cost us a game against Oklahoma. And you could argue that one cost us the game against Ohio State. You could argue it. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's what I believe. That was a huge momentum swing. We just tied the game up.